Mercury retrograde meets up with Venus this week, which can bring harmonious reconciliations or nitpicky rehashings. Hi, my name is Haley Comet, and welcome to just another Magic Monday, particularly your Magic Monday astrological horoscope for the week of August 5th to August 11th, 2024, where we are gathered just as we gather every single week here in my cosmic corner of the internet with a cosmic beverage in hand to discuss what the planets above us are up to, and more importantly, how we will feel the themes and influences as foretold by this week's astrology and every week's astrology threaded into our daily lives down here on planet Earth. And here on Magic Monday, I do strive to take a co-creative approach so that you feel empowered to align with the astrology, to take advantage of some of the opportune energies that are available to you. Because I will say, my goodness, my loves, we've done it. We've finally gotten to a pretty chill week of astrology, and honestly, there is immense potential around growth, opportunity, and possibilities should you take advantage of it. It's a subtle energy, but it is an alive energy. And this is coming like a tall glass of water on a hot beach day because July's astrology was a little wacky. Little turbulent, a lot of Uranus energy, a lot of ups and downs. And listen, this week, even this month, certainly has its fair share of challenges. We're building to a Jupiter square Saturn aspect within the skies. We are officially in Mercury retrograde. This is not necessarily a walk in the park, but finally we have a relatively calm week of astrology, all things considered. And we also have some nice energies that are supporting us in cleaning up the past and getting excited about the future. And we see this story playing out with Mercury retrograde aligning with Venus. Now, the two are placed in the sign Virgo. Mercury very much likes being in Virgo, Venus not so much. But nevertheless, these two are getting together, and this is an energy where we are being guided cosmically to get our lives together. To clean up our act, essentially. Like, this could be a time that you are feeling more inclined to want to handle those tasks that you've been putting off forever. Like, my love, I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody I'm talking to, but somebody needs to clean their fridge. Someone needs to go through and donate old clothes. Someone needs to organize their skincare cabinet. Listen, I know handling these micro elements of life and these to-dos isn't always the most fun necessarily, but it is an act of self-love, right? Clearing out the clutter, completing the incomplete. And there really is an energy this week where you can see it as just that and feel how good it can feel to cross certain items off your to-do list, or go to do your skincare and the cabinet's all aligned, or be able to pick out an outfit and not have to force the drawer open because there's so many clothes crammed in there, or being able to cook a meal and not feel disgusted by your fridge when you open it. Like, you deserve that. And that's the interesting thing about Venus in Virgo, is that this too is self-love. Even if when you're scrubbing the fridge, it doesn't feel very much like self-love. Even when you're lugging bags to Goodwill, it may not feel like self-love. It's certainly not glamorous, but this week you can find that these typically pretty mundane tasks actually do create a sensation of pleasure. Also, on an unrelated note of getting on top of our work tasks and just our daily to-do to clear out the clutter and complete the incomplete, some people may be reaching out to people from their past in order to clean up that mess. Potentially. And listen, this is not me advocating that everybody needs to reach out to an ex, okay, or reach out to an ex-friend or somebody from the past. What I will say is you may feel that you're thinking about them more so. You know, Mercury is now retrograde. Mercury is our mental processes. And when a planet is retrograde, we tend to think about the past, whether it's the past items that we have not completed or that we've been pushing off, or perhaps the lingering loose ends of our love life, as Mercury aligns with the planet of love, Venus. And so some of you can find you're thinking a lot about a connection from the past. You're dreaming about a connection from the past. You're journaling about a connection from the past. And Mercury retrograde ultimately is an inward energy. It is a time to reflect, to introspect, to really gain clarity on the past before we bulldoze into the future. So it would always be my advice here in the Cosmic Corner to see where it is that you can find that closure, clean up the energetic of the past within yourself before you feel like you need to reach out to somebody else. Because listen, sometimes when we reach out to people from the past, it can get a little messy. And one thing about Mercury and Venus and Virgo is they don't like messes. But you might be on the receiving end of somebody who wants to reconnect with you and hash something out. You might find that you run into somebody from your past, and maybe you're inclined to reach out to somebody where there's no hard feelings. You guys just kind of went different ways, and there's a desire to want to reminisce, to be nostalgic with this individual. This can be an optimal alignment to utilize that, to reconnect, right? To reminisce, to reflect. Anything that starts with the prefix re is supported during Mercury retrograde. Just be mindful. Just because you hear from someone from your past doesn't mean that they belong in your future. And all things considered, our eyes and our gaze is on the future this week, as we do have the Leo Sun sextile Jupiter in Gemini. This is giving possibility. This is giving space. This is giving excitement and honestly fun. Some of us could actually be having some fun this week, really able to step into these Leo energies around doing your own thing, doing what lights you up, and getting excited around the next stage of your life and the lessons that it will have in store. And so while Mercury retrograde will be asking you to clean up the mess and the clutter from your past, just know that doing so is opening up space for your future, which is represented by Sun sextile Jupiter. So we will talk about these energies as well as so much more in our thematic as well as day-by-day analysis. But before we do, take a step inside my cosmic cafe. Let me know what you are sipping on to start your week. I have been waiting patiently to open this so I get to try my first sip here on camera. My drink this week is I am drinking Wild Tonic. It has probiotics, green tea, and honey. It's called the Mule. It's part of the Wanderer series, and I love it so much. It has Saturn on the label. I want to thank Julie for giving this to me. She brought it to the next consultation. I was so grateful. Let's go ahead and give this a try. It's also woman-owned. Love that. Ooh. So this is absolutely divine. So that will be my companion as we talk about the week. Let me know what your drink companion will be as you listen to the week's forecast. And let me know while you're down in the comment section what fun plans you have this week. You know, we have the Leo Sun sextile Jupiter in Gemini, which is a more opportune energy around fun and curiosity and putting ourselves out there. Sextile is a soft flow of energy. It's an opportunity aspect. So it's important this week to bucket something fun or for the purpose of lighting you up or invigorating your soul space. For me, that's always the beach. I just had a fab beach day yesterday, and what made it even more fabulous was heading to the beach with my Ana Luisa jewelry, which is the sponsor of this week's video and is what I am wearing on camera throughout the duration of this video. So if you watch Magic Monday, you know my love for Ana Luisa. Ana Luisa is my favorite jewelry brand, and one of the major reasons for that is that their stuff lasts and stays. It is durable, okay? I am somebody, when I'm at the beach, I'm a Pisces, I'm a mermaid, like I like to be in the water. And I love that all of my Ana Luisa pieces are water resistant, so that whatever summer adventures that I'm embarking on, I'm able to gleam and shine as I embark upon them. I'm so grateful and so blessed that I've been working with Ana Luisa for a while now, and I'm talking about my first pieces that I've gotten from them are still heavily part of my jewelry rotation. You see me wear them in most of my videos, and they have not chipped, cracked, broken whatsoever. And I am somebody where I like to live in my jewelry. I work out in my jewelry. I go to the beach in my jewelry, shower in my jewelry. And the reason they are able to ensure such high quality is because every single piece that you will find on the website has been rigorously strength and humidity tested. So it's incredibly high quality without having to pay a huge price tag. Pieces on the Ana Luisa website start at just $39, and they range across all sorts of different aesthetics. There's some nice celestial pieces for my fellow star lovers. There's some astrology pieces on the website. Check it out. I was so excited from their latest collection for this beautiful heart locket. I've always wanted a locket. I haven't put a picture within because I've just been overthinking it. You know, Mercury is currently in Virgo. A lot of us could be overthinking quite a bit, but it just feels so special and so sacred to have a relic of something that I hold near and dear to my heart, quite literally located near and dear to my heart. It feels very Leo season coded, right? Leo governs the heart space. Then I love my new Sophia earrings. They just give me all of the happy summertime seashell feels. I had such a fabulous beach day in my Ana Luisa pieces. I'm looking forward to bringing these pieces for the summer vacation that I also have coming up in the month of August. So if you too have a summer vacation coming up in August or some other occasion that you want to gleam a little extra bright during, I deeply recommend checking out the high quality jewelry of Ana Luisa. You can get up to 30% 10% off. Check out the link within my drop down as well as within my pinned comment. Thank you so much, Ana Luisa, for partnering with me on this video and just making sure that whether I'm headed to the beach day, whether I'm in the cosmic corner, whether I'm doing whatever activity in this wide, wonderful world, I am stylish as I do so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into Vibe Check of the Week. So welcome to Vibe Check of the Week, which is the segment that we do here on Magic Monday to help translate the cosmos from astro speak of Mercury's retrograde aligning with Venus and Sun sextiles Jupiter to conversational speak around, have you been in a situation where it kind of feels like this and there's some emotions like this and some dynamics like this, to help paint a picture around how this energy will realistically surface within your world. I'm not saying this exact situation will play out, but tune into the vibe. That's why it's called the Vibe Check. And this week's astrology feels like the following scenario. We will say that 5 years ago, you worked for a particular company. Now, this position had its fair share of challenges. The work-life balance was non-existent. The leadership was trash. The hours were not it. But this position did have a bright spot, and that was the people that you worked with. You got very close to your coworkers, particularly a friend named Maggie. And when you took a new position, you were devastated to tell Maggie. Maggie was your work bestie. You guys told each other everything. Because listen, coworker love is a different kind of love. Your coworkers see some sides to you. They see the work side of you, and they just get a huge chunk of your life. If you think about how many hours we spend working, and so oftentimes those that you work closely with, they see up close and personal you navigating some raw stuff, right? Like they get the weekend recaps, they get the tea on that client meeting, they hear about your date coming up. Like a lot of times coworkers that you're close to, they know the tea. They see you every single day. And like how often do we really see our friends, right? So coworker love is a different kind of love. And so we will say that 5 years ago, taking this new position was the best thing for you, but you did miss Maggie because regardless, whether you have a friend who moves, a friend who changes jobs, it's not to say that the friendship will end, but it will change. And that's the case with you and Maggie, especially since shortly after you actually left that position, she ended up moving. And you guys used to know everything about one another's lives, and even after you took your new position and she moved, you still tried to keep in contact every so often, but naturally your paths just kind of took you in different directions. And now you're just kind of a spectator in Maggie's life, watching from afar on social media when you used to be front row. And that's life, it's part of change, it's part of growth, and you always do treasure the memories that you had with Maggie during the time that the two of you worked together. And so imagine your surprise when you wake up on a Wednesday morning to a DM from Maggie saying, hey, I'm actually going to be in town. Is there any way you would want to get together, catch up, go out for a meal? And you are so excited because again, it wasn't that anything went down. It's just your paths took you in different directions. And so you plan a sushi date, you get together, and obviously you guys are different now, but there's such a camaraderie and you're able to connect on all of this like niche office drama of the people you used to work with. Like, ooh, did you see what Michael from accounting is up to these days? Or, oh, did you hear that Jane and the CEO got together? Like, you get to have all of the gossip that you're not able to share with most people within your wider world. And even though your lives are so different now, there is just this appreciation around this friendship and just knowing that Maggie was the one who helped you through your breakup when your ex dumped you by text message and you still had to go to work and you had a huge client meeting the next day. Maggie was the one who saved your butt when you forgot to do a presentation and had a great distraction and a great excuse. She was the one who would listen to you vent about all of the troublesome clients and help you laugh your way through your workday and thus through that pretty difficult time of your life. So you have a special place in your heart reserved for her. And you're feeling very nostalgic. The two of you talk about work memories and lore and inside jokes that only the two of you know. And even in reflecting on that period of your life and contemplating how far you've come since then, it makes you more inspired to think about how far you've come, to think about the position that you were at and where it is that you're at now. Sometimes a walk down memory lane can be productive, right? If anything, to be able to reflect and have gratitude for how far you've come around, hey, there might be arenas of my life that are a mess, but my goodness, at least I'm not in that cubicle working for that particular boss, right? There might be things that are not going according to plan within other arenas of my life, but wow, I've come very far in terms of my working world. And sometimes reminiscing and reflecting brings us that perspective and ultimately brings us that gratitude. And so we will say that in spending time with Maggie, you guys are catching up, and after a cocktail or two at dinner, the two of you decide to go out, you hit the dance floor, you have fun, you have a great time. And yes, your paths have taken you in different directions, and the times in which you're able to spend time are few and far between, but they're sweet. And so not all of us will have a sushi date with a treasured coworker from our past this week. But there can be an energy around potentially reflecting and reminiscing on past memories that you've shared with someone else. You know, Mercury retrograde will align with Venus, the planet of love. So certainly we can bring up romantic love. I made a coworkers this week because the two align in Virgo, right? So this could be a really lovely week to reach out to someone from your past, not if it's giving drama or chaos, okay, but to reminisce, to reflect, and to potentially reconnect. There's so many relationships within our world where it's like nothing went down. It's just our responsibilities got in the way, our to-dos got in the way. We just have different things that consume our day-to-day. And it's nice to make that effort every so often to reach out and to say, hi, how are you? Are you in town? Can we get together? And this is an important week to say yes, to be open. We have Sun sextile Jupiter. So you make it a spontaneous event on your social calendar. You may plan something fun. There can be an energy around just being open to possibility and open to go out dancing after the sushi date. You know, Leo, Sun, sextile Jupiter and Gemini, it's giving a little bit of main character energy, right? And having fun, infusing a little bit of lightness and curiosity into your week. And one of the most beneficial ways to utilize Mercury retrograde is to, yes, reflect on the past, but not to get stuck there. Not to be like, oh, should I go back to that position, right? Or even to go back to me and Maggie need to have the same friendship as we did before, because you won't, and you probably will not, just because your lives look so different, and that's okay. That's the purpose of growth. And sometimes reflecting can make us bittersweet because it's like, oh, this was such a special person in my life at this particular portion of time, but it's just around allowing growth with Sun sextile Jupiter, and to know that to grow means to outgrow. And it doesn't need to be bitter, right? It can be an energy where you reconnect every so often on some workplace drama tea, right? Over a sushi roll or two. You guys can go out dancing every so often. And likely this won't be somebody who's interwoven into your day-to-day reality, and that's okay. And that's okay. And sometimes with Mercury retrograde, it could be an energy around reflecting in order to see how far you've come, because Sun sextile Jupiter is this invitation to look towards the future, but Mercury retrograde is reminiscing on the past. So if anything, you could be reflecting, reminiscing on past journals via conversations, and really seeing how far you've come. Sometimes reading old journals, you're like, wow, I was down bad at that position. Like, my goodness, my, home life might be a mess, but at least I'm not working there. Like, sometimes it can give us perspective, because something that exists within your life, even if things are not going according to plan, and there's going to be a few, Mercury's retrograde, there are things in your life that you used to pray for. And it's important to reminisce on that every so often, just to have gratitude for those arenas of your life. And to feel inspired around, if I can go from there to here, who's to say that I can't go here to the next stage of my evolution, and the next and the next? So we will give more texture and nuance to the vibe check as we take it into our day-by-day analysis. I do just want to let you know that I utilize PDT time zone, so please adjust to your own local time zone before you put these aspects in your planner or make a mental note of them, as they very well may land at a different time based on where it is that you are, or even a different date based on where it is that you are. I also want to highlight, I do have timestamps below for your convenience so that you are welcome to jump to a particular day, jump back to a particular day. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into the astrology of Monday, August 5th. So happy Monday. Welcome to your horoscope for Monday, August 5th. So the first order of business is that either late last night or early this morning, depending on where it is that you're located, Mercury stationed retrograde. And we do feel planets when they station more intensely. So your morning time may be plagued with some Mercury retrograde-itis. You're dropping things, you're losing things, you are late to work, you are having technical difficulties, there's inconveniences, there's delays. And the thing about this Mercury retrograde is that it's stationing in the sign Virgo, a sign that takes any sort of inconvenience, any sort of changed plan, any sort of thing that's out of order or that's not going right as a personal attack. Like the way that I was sitting here trying to film your Monday horoscope and a car drove by like so loud and I side-eyed them as though they had a personal vendetta against me and their ultimate aim was to disrupt Magic Monday. Like that's how annoyed I got. I'm like, really? How dare this car drive? How dare they be loud? Don't they know that people are in their little cosmic corner filming a horoscope video? Like, no, they don't. But sometimes the energy of Virgo, the things that just aren't going according to plan could be getting under our skin. Mercury is exalted in Virgo, and so we do have a very detail-oriented, discerning eye right now. So not only are we noticing all the little things, we're noticing all the little things that are going wrong, which could be making us feel a little bit more neurotic or scattered or stressed or all over the place. And the best course of action in navigating with Mercury is to laugh if you're able to. Mercury is the trickster, so if you're able to giggle at yourself, like, wow, I can't believe I side-eyed a random car and felt like they personally had a vendetta against me. Like, wow, of course there's construction on the one day that I had this huge meeting and it slowed me down. Like, it's gonna be important not to take ourselves so seriously, as well as not to expect perfection, because that's the energy of Virgos. We're looking for perfection, we're looking for order, and with Mercury retrograde, things are not quite perfect. They're not quite orderly. And that could be getting under our skin. But you can leverage this to your benefit because, contrary to popular belief, Mercury retrograde can be a good thing. You can use this critical discerning eye to fine-tune and improve past projects. This is an amazing time to edit. This is an amazing time to refine. You can use this lasered eye in order to look towards existing projects in order to make them the best that they can be. Mercury retrograde is a fabulous time to go to the past and again look to things that are in the creative graveyard or projects that you have started or things that you've been meaning to do and to finally complete them, to complete the incomplete, right? To clean up the mess of these items around, oh, I really should do this, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do this. Mercury retrograde is your invitation to clean that up before you feel like you need to bulldoze into something new. That is a helpful way to utilize Mercury retrograde. Also, if you're not feeling inclined to use it like that, you can also utilize it as a break, an opportunity to catch your breath, to get your mind right, to reflect, to introspect before you jump into a new project or jump into a new era of your life or wherever this may be coming to the surface. Now, like I said, with Mercury retrograde, a lot of us are wanting to clean up the mess. We're wanting to clean up the mess. And so with Mercury retrograde, you could also find that you're taking a pause maybe from your work projects in order to pay attention to other projects, you know, cleaning out your clothes that you've been meaning to, cleaning out the fridge, organizing. I would just be cautious with anything technological. This could be a time in which files disappear, poof. Emails are sent into oblivion, like always important to double check all communications. But when it comes to your physical world, it can be a really nice time to get on top of things. And it might be helpful to temper the kind of anxious energy of Virgo by keeping your hands busy, right? We've got Mercury in Virgo and Mars in Gemini. It might be helpful to dedicate some time or at least move through some more nervous energy by physically taking on some projects, especially the ones that you've been meaning to. You know, I think of our mind as essentially a safari window, right? And this is a time in which you could be feeling like you have too many tabs open around so many to-dos or different things that you've been meaning to do that are exhausting you. They're wearing you down. Your mind is scattered in many different directions. And so rather than feeling like you have to bulldoze and take on new projects and add more tabs that you don't want to close because you're like, ugh, I haven't finished that, so it needs to stay up. thus scattering and busying your mentality, this is a time to be like, okay, this tab is open. I've been meaning to clean the fridge. Let me handle that so I can actually close out the tab. Or when it comes to your literal computer, there could be tabs open around something that you kind of like half researched, but you want to return back to and take notes, or something that you've been meaning to buy, but you're still doing research. This is a time to complete the incomplete in order to create more space within our mind, because we do need space in order to create. And there is an ask this week with Sun sextile Jupiter building around where it is that we have the space to say yes. That's what yesterday's Leo new moon was all about. P.S. Let me know if you did anything to celebrate the Leo new moon. I will link last week's Magic Monday below as well as above, but I would love to know how last week's astrology went, how the Leo new moon went, because a lot of that Leo new moon was around carving the space for our heartfelt yes. And it's like, if we are calling in, I want this new project, or I want this new thing, but we still have all of these tabs open, we do not have the bandwidth. We do not have the CPU on our device in order to accommodate more and more requests. And so this can be a time to just get on top of your task. That's a really beneficial energy to utilize this with. But that being said, some of us are cleaning up physical messes of our life. But with Mercury aligning with Venus, I mentioned this on Monday because the moon hits both of these planets. There also could be an energy around wanting to clean up the clutter of past connections. Some of these can be beautiful, like in the vibe check, where you hear from a coworker from the past, or you reach out to a neighbor from the past, or something of that nature, and you're able to reconnect and reminisce and reflect. But some of you could be taking a walk down memory lane and getting a little perturbed by what you're seeing. Like, some of you could absolutely send a text sometime this week where it starts with, I just think it's funny how. If you've ever gotten or sent one of those texts, you know the nature of those texts. Like, Mercury retrograde and Virgo aligning with Venus is very much that energy around not talking to someone for 2 years, but thinking about a piece of data that went down within your connection with them and being like, I just think it's funny how, because there's part of you that wants to call them out, or part of you that wants to clear out this clutter, right? Because when it comes to this Mercury retrograde, there is part of us that wants to find the lesson from past connections in order to improve, right? Like sourcing data and information from the past in order to evolve. And so if there's still loops that exist within you around, I should have communicated this to this person, or this particular pattern that has surfaced within my life has stemmed from this person. Like, I wonder if they know that. I wonder if they know that that was not okay. Like, some of us could be reflecting on the past, and with the energy of Virgo, wanting to call out or criticize what it is that we're finding. And my advice when it comes to this energy, again, I'm not saying that it's not an optimal time to reach out. I'm just saying Virgo doesn't like mess. So really contemplate if reaching out to certain people from the past is going to create more mess. And really contemplate, is the closure something that I can find within myself without pulling this person into it? Can I kind of introspect and reflect on that connection without feeling like I need to send an I just think it's funny that sort of text? So some of you could be thinking about things from a past connection. For some of you, this could be coming up within a current relationship around, I know that we had this conversation a while ago, but it's really getting under my skin. It's really annoying me, right? And some of this could come up around, errands and to-dos with the energy of Virgo, just small details that you're noticing around, must you put the towel on the ground after you shower? Didn't we talk about this 6 months ago? Like, some of us could be reminiscing on past conversations that we've had with our partner, and with the energy of Virgo being like, how can we improve here? How can we do better here? And I would just say, with the energy of Virgo, we can come across as a little bit more critical. You need to keep in mind, when Mercury and Venus get together this Wednesday, Mercury is heightened, Venus is debilitated. So Mercury is coming out stronger here. So you may mean to be saying, like, I love you so much and I want us to build a happy home where there's not towels on the ground. It could come out as, you're sloppy, how hard is it to pick up a towel off the ground? Like, definitely this can be a time of heartfelt conversations, especially anchored in this energy around how can we do better, right? How can we improve our connection? But just being mindful around tone, okay? Just being mindful around tone. I'm telling you, I didn't always resonate with being a Virgo placement until I started doing things on camera, and I would catch my facial expressions if there was like a loud car or some noise outside, and I would see myself side eye, and I was like, Okay, there's the Virgo. There's the Virgo. Like, it tends to be an energy that can come across as a little bit more critical, a little bit more judgy. And so just being mindful of that when it comes to your current connections. And again, a lot of this is about past stuff. Like, you might have felt like you got through something, or you had a conversation with this person and you got to the other side. But with Mercury retrograde, you're just contemplating, there's still something that's not right about it. Like, I still haven't seen the improvements I've needed to see within my physical reality, could be it for some, or just an energy around we could be doing better in this arena, or I didn't say what it is that I wanted to say and now I have more clarity around it. There could be an energy where we are bringing up things from the past potentially, but again, bringing it up for the purpose of evolving. Try not to get down a thing around you always do this. I've mentioned the towels on the ground before and you never do anything. I've heard you should always avoid those words, always and never, when you are having conversations like this with your partner. From your perspective, it could feel like always, right? Or it could feel like they never do this or they always do that, but it does come across as a little bit more attacking, and it tends to make people a little bit more defensive. And the purpose of Mercury retrograde is not bring up old stuff just to bring up old stuff and bring up old mess, right? But for the purpose around, can we clean up the mess, right? Can we genuinely put this to bed so it's not a tab that's open on my browser? So to speak. So for Monday's lunar aspects, so at 1:28 a.m., the Leo moon trines Chiron in Aries. Lots of us will be asleep, but if you happen to be awake, it could be incredibly soothing for your heart space to create, to do something that makes you feel like you. And then the Leo moon will square off with Uranus at 8:16 a.m. So not only do we have Mercury newly retrograde, right, until August 28th, which tends to create some snafus, inconveniences, and miscommunications, we also have the moon squaring Uranus, which can create things that are unpredictable, things that are unexpected. And so you could wake up on Monday to unexpected messages coming in, unexpected events transpiring, or just ultimately this energy of restlessness that may make it hard to focus. And after the Leo moon squares up with Uranus around 8 a.m., it is void until it enters Virgo at 2:17 p.m. Now, if you watch Magic Monday, you know that I always say when the moon is void, important tasks we must avoid, because it's considered that void moons are not the most opportune time for things. It's great for things that are mundane, or for resting or doing something with this nervous energy that could be building with the square to Uranus. Not so aligned for sending the most important email of your life, right? And then when the moon enters Virgo, this does accentuate the Mercury retrograde because Virgo answers to Mercury. So with the energy of Virgo moon, there could be this motivation that kind of snaps into awareness midday, where you are feeling more inspired to want to handle the tasks and find some sense of order. Again, when it comes to Virgo energy, we never fully find perfection. We never reach a day in which every tab is closed off and every to-do is done and every home project is done. Like, as we do things, new tabs emerge, right? And rather than allowing that to feel defeating around, I'm never going to get on top of things, the energy of Virgo just asks us to show up for one thing at a time and to feel how good it can feel to get things done. Those who watch Magic Monday know I'm a huge fan of to-do lists. Just because clicking done or having a little check mark after I complete something, like, that is my preferred high. Truly, it feels so good. Sometimes I'll even retroactively add in things that I did that morning just to cross it off so I still get credit. It does feel good to be productive, especially when the moon's in Virgo. And again, you could feel overwhelmed around everything just feels to be a mess and there's so much I have to get done. Just take it one step at a time. And if possible, strive to anchor these things within love. Again, love is showing up differently with Venus in its fall, but love is showing up around self-love, around I love myself so much that I want to have a clean fridge. I love myself so much that I want to be able to open my dressers without all of my clothes spilling out. I love myself so much that I want to complete these tasks so I don't have to worry about them any longer. Like, again, it's not so glamorous, but it is love. Love is taking care of the maintenance of being a human being, and allow that to feel good, especially with the Virgo moon aligning with Venus at 4:24 p.m. Enjoy and satiate that particular pleasure that that comes with a check off a to-do list. Enjoy and indulge in the runner's high after you go for a 5-mile run. Really appreciate the dedication that it took to make that beautiful salad and to eat it knowing that your body is getting all the nutrients that it so deserves. Like, this too feels good. This too is self-love. And so there is an ask to approach these mundane aspects of our life with a degree of reverence and with finding pleasure within these arenas. I know things can feel monotonous day to day, and the ask of Virgo is where it is that we infuse a little bit of meaning within the mundane, knowing that you are not just booking a yoga class, but you are showing your body love and appreciation, knowing that you are not just going to do work within the small tasks that you are doing, but remember the big picture of what it is that you're building. The big visions that we create that Sun sextile Jupiter could be casting our gaze to potentially is made up of a lot of little things. And there's an ask, especially with all this Virgo energy, to fall in love with the little things. Like, I am of the belief around how it is that you do anything is how it is that you do everything. That evening, the moon aligns with who it's answering to, Mercury and Virgo. Again, the moon aligns with Venus and aligns with Mercury. So some of us are thinking about people from the past, whether it's loving, oh, I should reach out to Maggie, or whether it's, I just think it's funny how. So proceed with caution, but with the energy of the moon meeting up with Mercury, I do want to say you could be feeling quite nervous at night, and a great way to move through this energy is brain dump. If there's certain tasks you're like, got to do that tomorrow, got to do that tomorrow, write it down. Write a to-do list, okay? I'm big on to-do lists. I'm gonna keep highlighting it with all this Virgo energy. Write a to-do list. Like, I love planning out my week and writing it all down, so I'm not like, gotta do this, gotta do this. It's there. It's there. It's written so I won't forget it, because Mercury retrograde can make us more forgetful. And it helps me close out that tab from my brain, because at least it's somewhere and it keeps me accountable of that. So if you find you're late at night like, oh, and I have to do this, and oh, I should reach out to this person and this person, write it down. Or even if you're just thinking about messes within your life that you want to clean up, or aspects of your life that you want to get together. You know, I talked about last week, some of us could be getting the ick with other people. Some of us could be getting the ick with ourselves. Like, dang, like, I can't believe my routines have looked like this, or dang, I can't believe I've been doing this, right? And with Moon Mercury, it's not about beating yourself up and being hard on yourself. It could just be helpful to just kind of write down this intention of how it is that you want to leverage Mercury retrograde, of how it is that you want to show up better for yourself and better for the maintenance of being a human being, right? And with Moon Mercury, it could just be like journaling, potentially having conversations. Just be mindful, miscommunications are common, technical difficulties are common, and this just could be a very overthinking kind of night. So strive to go to bed. Have a nice ritual, have a nice routine, okay? Virgo's big on rituals and routines. Having a nighttime routine signals to your body that it's time to rest, signals to your mind that it's time to unwind, okay? And so this would be an extra important night to do things that are soothing and calming, to just allow yourself to unwind. So on Tuesday, August 6th, even though, yes, the energy yesterday, there might have been some annoyances and disruptions, Tuesday is the day that we are really being perturbed. And maybe some of us are angered by the bigger things of life, but it feels like a lot of us are going to be perturbed and annoyed by the smaller things of life. Like, there just could be a workplace email interaction that just gets under your skin around somebody who says, as per my last email, I attached this, and you're like, you didn't attach anything. There could be somebody in the workplace who makes something in the microwave that's super smelly and stinks up the whole office, and you're just like, really? It doesn't feel like anything's too serious on Tuesday. It's just a lot of little things that are just really annoying and really irritating. And we could be getting annoyed by it. And the reason I say this is because the Virgo moon will square Mars around 1 p.m. and then square Jupiter around 9 p.m. So our emotional responses are frustrated with the square to Mars and exaggerated with the square to Jupiter. And with the energy of Virgo moon squaring Mars and Jupiter, you could be, and again, your emotions are valid, but there could be an energy around making a mountain out of a molehill, okay? And listen, I'm a Virgo moon, I get it. Like, little things can be very, very stressful and get under our skin. But there could just be an energy where perhaps if we bring up a situation to our partner, we make it this really big deal about the towels on the ground or about something else. And it's like, in the big picture, it probably wasn't that serious and probably didn't need that much of our energy. It's of course annoying, but when it comes to Tuesday's astrology and life overall, we do need to pick our battles. Especially if the battles that you are picking is around information, because let's keep in mind that Mercury in Virgo and Mars in Gemini are both answering to the same ruler who is retrograde. And so sometimes there could be information that is concealed or that is yet to be revealed, and we could be getting upset about it, right? So that's why with Mercury retrograde, some of us could be thinking about things in the past and being like, I just think it's funny how, and wanting to confront this person, or at least have something that we can direct all of this frustrated or angry energy towards. And again, there's constructive ways to work through it. You can go for a workout. If you're tempted to send I just think it's funny how text or DM, go for a run first. Run as fast as you can and then see if you still have that same energy towards it. Or take a kickboxing class or something of that nature. Move it through physically before you feel like you have to confront someone, because it just feels like things could be irritating us on Tuesday, and we could get ourselves into a mess just with the moon squaring Jupiter, and then realize like, ooh, I did not mean to come at you that hard for the towels being on the ground, or ooh, now I broke no contact with someone I haven't talked to in 2 years just to call them out around that one date that we went on that they forgot to open the door. Like, ooh, that was kind of a lot, but I was just frustrated in the moment. And again, the source of our frustrations, it feels like on Tuesday at least, is mostly directed around our day-to-day responsibilities, our workplace, things of that nature, as well as just an overall feeling of just annoyance. Things aren't going our way. Things are imperfect. Things feel to be a mess. There could be technical difficulties that are getting under our skin, coworkers that could be getting under our skin, and just small things that could be getting under our skin. You know, when it comes to Virgo energy, it may seem like small things, like especially if you have like a partner or someone near and dear to you who has a Virgo placement and they mention something to you around the way that you chew or something that you do around the home, you might be like, that's not that big a deal, like get over it. But Virgo energy is here to zero in on details, and there are just typically particular things that really bother Virgo placements and could be bothering us all, like pet peeve type energy. And so just know that with Moon square Mars, things could be getting under your skin, but ask if it deserves to be getting under your skin. Like strive, especially with the Moon building to square Jupiter that evening, strive in the bigger scheme of things. Doesn't matter that my coworker microwaved something rancid in the microwave and stunk up the entire place. The air will probably be cleared out by tomorrow, and I get to go home and go back to my clean home with my nice essential oil diffuser, and this stinky office will be the last thing that I'm thinking about. Like that sort of perspective can be helpful before you feel like you need to immediately send a Slack message to your coworker saying, my goodness, what the hell did you make for lunch? This smells disgusting. So find perspective before you get into messy conflict that you could potentially be blowing out of proportion a smidge, okay? That would be my advice for Tuesday. And I will say the more annoyed, frustrated, irritated energy does happen midday, as you move into the evening time, you could be feeling a little bit lighter and freer. And the reason for this is that the Leo sun is building to sextile Jupiter in Gemini. It exacts early Wednesday, but you could have access to it that evening around wanting to create, wanting to be optimistic, wanting to look towards the future, even if that future is just a day that you don't have to smell your coworker's smelly lunch. On Wednesday, August 7th, at 6:37 a.m. PDT, the Leo sun will sextile Jupiter in Gemini. And as I highlighted, sextile is an opportunity aspect. So not every single one of us are going to seize this energy with both hands and make the most of it. Now, I know you will, because you are getting dialed into this week's energy. You're watching Magic Monday, but not all of us will. Sextiles are not a given. It's an opportunity. So I would really recommend to grab this opportunity with both hands. Sun sextile Jupiter is a time to do something fun, something that charges up your life force energy, something where you can play and laugh and have a good time. We've been talking a lot with Leo energy, this need to cultivate and curate happiness and joy within our lives. And knowing that just as we revisit old journals and we reminisce on the time we had with Maggie and working at that company that we despised, just as we had problems then, we had problems now. They might be different problems, but life is always going to have problems, always. Regardless of whatever it is that we're moving towards, whatever it is that we desire, there's always going to be problems awaiting us there. And I don't say that to be discouraging. I'm just saying let's manage our expectations around feeling like there will be a time in which we have no worries whatsoever. As we grow, our problems evolve, right? And every so often it's helpful to go back and be like, well, I know I'm working on this arena of my life, but my goodness, I'm so glad I'm not there, right? And even if it's accessible, having gratitude for your current problems. Like, there are times that I almost hear myself complain. I'm like, past you would have loved to have these problems. Like, there are times where I'll be like, oh my goodness, work is so busy. I can't keep up with the client demand. I'm like booking out 3 months in advance. There's so much on my plate. I'm working every single day. And I contemplate, who I was when I was working at my 9 to 5 and like building my astrology business. I'm like, she would have loved these problems. And again, they are problems, and I'm always looking for shifts in order to find more balance within my world. But these are good problems to have. It's really not building a life where you don't have any problems. It's just picking what problems you want to have in this life. Like, raising children is going to have its fair share of problems to solve and issues to solve, but it's worthwhile if that is something that you desire. Same goes with everything. Any sort of dream job, you will have days where it just feels like work. You will. There will be problems. There will be bad days. There will be work issues. So there's part of this energy around making peace with that, because I think that's where Mercury retrograde in Virgo can get so stuck, is this energy around things are wrong and messy and they shouldn't be wrong and messy. Again, we should do the best that we can to improve, to refine, to make things better, but it's just this energy around, and that's being alive. Is that there's going to be things for us to clean up and to dial into and to improve. If there's ever not, then our growth stagnates, right? And I feel with the energy of Sun sextile Jupiter, it's also this ask to make having fun a priority now. Because again, Virgo energy can also get us stuck in the loop around, well, I have to do this and this before I can have a beach day, or how could I possibly go to the museum this week when there's so much I have to get done? Again, when we can make peace with there's always going to be things that you should be doing, you make peace with that. And while you don't give up on those tasks, you do take those opportunities around, okay, I will handle the fridge and the clothes tomorrow. Today is for going to the beach. I'm not going to be at the beach stressing about all the tasks. I'm going to be here fully, and I'm going to intentionally align with activities that will bring me joy within my world. Yesterday, I played hooky for myself. I had so much that I should be doing, and it was really challenging for me to decide, even though I had so many other tasks that I could have been doing, to really carve the time around, no, I'm going to the beach. I'm taking my books. I'm going to frolic in the ocean. I'm going to have myself a day. The tasks can wait. I'm not abandoning them, but they're on the to-do list. And today I'm choosing joy. Today I'm choosing to have fun. And whenever I do this, it's always a time, I'm feeling burnt out. I kind of just need a beach day. Okay. And it's so interesting because whenever I come back to work the next day, I'm so much more charged up, right? The Leo Sun sextile Jupiter asks us to really charge up our radiance, even if it's not productive. Like, it wasn't the most productive day that I was just frolicking in the ocean. I could have been editing. I could have been doing a million things, but the million things will always be there. I needed to charge up my life force in order to approach those million things, right? In order to approach my work task with a degree of reverence and intentionality, because I wasn't approaching it around feeling burnt out and scattered. I took the time in order to invest in myself and invest in feeling good. I am of the belief that when we take care of ourselves, the things that we have to take care of in life become more manageable. And if you're feeling burnt out, drained, ask yourself, when's the last time I did something just to charge up my own soul space? When's the last time I did something just to have some fun? Listen, Leo Sun, Jupiter and Gemini, these are some playful energies. So it's around saying yes to something. There might be an invitation that comes in, you're like, I probably shouldn't, I should probably do this and I should probably do this. Say yes. Say yes. Because with Sun sextile Jupiter, it's just this energy around, when I go out dancing with Maggie, when I decide to say yes to this date, like anything could happen. And it's important to remember that because the Virgo energy can make us very laser focused on the day-to-day. And again, ritual and routine, this is all well and good, but it's also nice every so often to break the ritual and routine. It makes it more sustainable. Right? Our work schedules and all of the monotony of life gets more sustainable when we have nights every so often of dancing until 2 a.m. and we have to take our shoes off, or frolicking in the ocean on a work day. Okay? It just makes it more sustainable. So ask yourself, what am I going to do this week just for the purpose of lighting my soul space up? Maybe for some of you that's taking an art class, maybe for some of you that's learning something new, maybe that's doing things that make you feel more like yourself again, skating, dancing, something of that nature. Whatever it is, commit to it this week. The other major event that happens on Wednesday is that Mercury and Venus will align in the cosmos for a cute little kiss. They are getting together. And so with Mercury and Venus aligning, like I said, Mercury retrograde is around the past, and with it aligning with Venus, you could be thinking about lovers from the past. You could be dreaming about lovers from the past. And when it comes to anyone that you feel tempted to reconnect with during this time, or for a lot of you, receiving messages of people wanting to reconnect with you, ultimately, with the energy in Virgo, ask yourself if it is a productive usage of your time. If you want to give this person access to your world. Because if you feel like allowing this person back into your energy and into your space is going to distract you, is going to clutter your thinking, just because it comes to mind or you receive a message does not mean that you need to open the door wide open. You could have lovely memories with this person and you still do not need to allow them right into your world as it is now, because you've worked hard to build your peace and protect your peace. And there could be people who heard your DMs, yes, extending a peace offering, but are creating more chaos within your mind, which ultimately could distract you from your goals and your day-to-day routines and the things that you have to get done. So all I'm saying, use this Virgo energy around discernment, around who you want to reach out to, if anybody, or who you want to reconnect with if they do reach out to you. And again, I'm not saying everybody's necessarily wanting to fight with you. Like Mercury Venus is giving peace offering. It is giving a lovely reconnection energy, but really contemplate, is this bringing more mess into my world? Because the energy of Virgo is, how can we clean up the mess of our past? And for some of us, that's showing up around the energetic vibration around love and around connections. If you find that you are thinking about an ex from the past, you run into an ex from the past, you dream about an ex from the past, it's so rarely about that person. It is about what they represent to you. And there might be something energetically that you need to clean up within that connection, whether it's a lesson that you need to internalize around your own worthiness, whether it's something that you learned about yourself around what you do and do not want, whether it's something that brought up to the surface around your own healing. If you're finding that continually during this Mercury retrograde or even past Mercury retrogrades, you are thinking about people from the past, it's not the cosmos saying that they need to be dragged into your future. It's just representing that there could be some loose end, not with the person, but maybe as it relates to the lessons that you need to internalize from that person. Because I'm of the belief that if we do not learn a lesson, it will just repeat with different faces and potentially different spaces in our life. And so if you find that there just feels to be some loose end, this Mercury retrograde is really asking you, what can I do to create peace with this arena of my life? How can I internalize and really process the lessons of what I learned there around what I do and do not want? Again, Virgo's all around the data. So if you hear from someone and you're like, should I let this person back in the past? Remember why they departed your world. Remember the icks about them. Like, remember the data. For some of you, you might need to head to the journals to reminisce on that before allowing them to re-enter. Because the gift of Venus Virgo is that we are being discerning. And with Venus and Virgo, we're not wanting to allow people into our space or even spend time with people, go on dates with people who are taking away from our day-to-day. If you know this person was horrible for your mental health and they got you distracted from your work tasks and distracted from your fitness goals, really utilize that discernment. Your connections should enrich your day-to-day. It should not deplete from it. I'm of the belief, and this might be my Virgo placements and all of us with these Virgo energies, your body will tell you. Your body will tell you. Like, I think of some of the people that I was dealing with, and not only were they a colossal waste of time, like my time would have been so much better spent reading, improving myself, studying more astrology, working on my fitness goals, investing in a hobby. Like, there's so many better ways that I could have utilized my time, and there's so many ways that even allowing that space in my life distracted from the things I would actually invest in myself and my own wellness. Not only that, but also my physical body told me. I just remember when I was dealing with someone, the entire time that I had this person within my world, I would wake up with a knot in my stomach. I'm not kidding. I would wake up with a knot in my stomach. My first breath in the morning would be like almost like gasping for air. And I was so anxious. And at the time, I didn't put it to that person, but then they departed and all of a sudden I was at peace. And I was like, oh, got it. And so not only were they taking residence in my life, and my time would have been so much better spent like working on myself, improving myself, investing in myself, but also I was like this anxious mess that entire year, which also was distracting, right, from my work tasks and things of that nature, because I just was a bundle of anxiety. My body was trying to tell me that this person was not it. I mean, my hair was falling out, my skin was atrocious, I was losing weight. Your body does know, and your body does tell you. And Virgo is around really paying attention to those details, because I will say within that particular connection, I didn't have the reasoning of why it wasn't right. Like, I was anxious and stressed and I just thought it was a me thing, and I didn't know that this person was not it for me. My body was trying to tell me, and I ended up ending things. And not only did that anxiety and that pit in my stomach go away and I had peace within my life, but information then surfaced that made it clear that that person was not good for me, and my body was the first to know, even before my mind. So part of Virgo energy is paying attention to the cues of our body, which again, not everybody will be contemplating, should I let this person back into my world? Should I not? But also paying attention to your body's cues when you are connecting around certain friends. Is your body language more open when you're around certain people? Do you have more headaches when you're dealing with certain clients? A lot of times your body can be giving you little cues of certain things, and it's important to pay attention. And for some of you, you know, it can be fun every so often to have a little bit of drama, to have a little bit of chaos within our world, like hearing from someone from our past and being like, this was a toxic ex who did me dirty. But there's part of me that just wants to see what they have to say. Again, your peace is worth too much, okay? It is such a gift to be able to feel at peace with life. It might be boring every so often, but it is something to protect, and it is something to safeguard. And to be at peace with life does not mean everything is perfect, but it does mean that you don't have somebody who is causing terror and torment within your world. That is very valuable. So do not let someone in just out of the curiosity. I mean, did you hear what happened to the cat? Did you hear what happened to the cat? We do have Mars, Malefic, and Gemini, the sign of curiosity. Again, I'm not saying that you need to not reconnect with anyone. For some, coworker reconnection, friend reconnection, schoolmate reconnection, neighbor reconnection, go for it. And with Venus energy, it could be sweet, reminiscing energy, maybe even an opportunity from the past or financial opportunity from the past comes up. I feel like I have not popped in with an Editing Haley interlude in a little bit, so missed y'all. Hey. The way I'm acting like Editing Haley and Recording Haley are two separate people, but they feel different. Nevertheless, I just wanted to pop in because Recording Haley didn't highlight it, that Mercury on Venus, especially with Mercury retrograde, would be an optimal time to review your spending, review your finances. You know, the energy of Virgo can help you exercise discernment, clean up the mess of subscriptions that you need to cancel, or even just audit yourself and be like, where is my money going? If you've been needing to get on some sort of budget or something of that nature, this energy can be helpful for that. So let's go ahead and throw it back to Recording Haley. Some of you could be leveraging this energy around looking back to like your landing page and wanting to make it more pretty, right, with the energy of Venus, using the Mercury energy to pick out all the typos and Venus energy to make it more pretty. Some of you could be contemplating past art projects and beautifying them and completing them. So this energy will surface differently for each of us, but just know if someone pops into your mind, you can say, aw, you can reminisce on the memories, but just use discernment before you feel like you need to open the door for them to walk back into your life, especially if it's giving mess. The energy of Virgo does not like a mess to clean up. No, no. Other than that, when it comes to Wednesday's lunar astrology, the Virgo moon does oppose Saturn in Pisces. This happens around 2:44 a.m. PDT. So we could end Tuesday and start Wednesday a little stressed, a little burdened by our responsibilities. Again, we're wanting to have fun, say yes to the beach date and the friend date, but there could be tasks and errands and responsibilities, which again, will always be there. Not saying that we should all procrastinate, but we need to have a little fun every so often, you know? It makes it more sustainable, the tasks and the cleaning and the working and all of the things. We gotta let our hair down every so often. And then that evening, the Virgo moon will trine Uranus in Taurus. So just an ask to show up for yourself and for life's maintenance, potentially in new ways. So if some of you have been contemplating, like I used to work out and I don't any longer, or there were certain rituals and routines that made me feel really good, but I lost touch with it, this could be a time to reconnect with them. Like Mercury retrograde is a great time to go to the past and to reconnect with that version of you who did your skincare every night or who went to yoga every day. If you've had these habits before, you can have them again. And the Virgo moon trine Uranus, a novel opportunity to reintroduce those rituals and routines into your night. I do want to say with Wednesday evening, the moon does oppose Neptune. It officially exacts early Thursday, so you might have some dreams. And like I said, Mercury Venus could have dreams about somebody from your past. And it's not to say that the universe is saying you need to run into this person's arms or you need to drag this person into your future. Just contemplate. What do I need to energetically clean up from this connection to invite in a new connection? Or what lessons did I learn about myself within this connection that the universe is wanting me to remember with the current challenges in my world? So on Thursday, August 8th, at around 1:48 a.m. PDT, the Virgo moon will oppose Neptune in Pisces. Lots of us will be asleep for this. Many of us will be in dreamland. Neptune energy tends to make our dreams quite interesting. And honestly, with the energy of it opposing the Virgo moon, there could be data to extract from your dreams. And you might be like, Haley, Comet, I had a dream that a giant cheetah was chasing me. I don't exactly know what data that would be. Take a beat, meditate on it, reflect on it. Maybe that dream was meant to represent that you feel that the hold that junk food has on you is creeping in on you and you're not able to outrun it. Like sometimes if we just take some space to contemplate our dreams, there might be layers for you to tune into. I'm also big, I've shared this before, I will ask spirit, ask God, ask universe for an answer to something via my dreams. And it comes through. I don't always like what I learn, but I will say it does come through if you ask. And even if it's not from your dreams, sometimes spirit will bring it through via a sign or via a synchronicity. I also want to say, Virgo moon tends to be quite the worrywart. Neptune is around transcendence into something beyond. And this also could be an invitation to pray. I don't remember where I heard this, but somebody was saying you can't pray and worry. Like if you pray, you are essentially outsourcing that problem or that worry into God's hands and you're trusting in that. And so if there is something that's stressing you out or getting under your skin, allow yourself to pray about it and know that God, universe, divine hears you, is on it. The answer will be revealed to you, or the solution to your problems will be revealed to you, or the decision that you need to make will be revealed to you in due time, in perfect timing. There's no use in stressing yourself out about it now. And so after the Virgo moon opposes Neptune, it is void until 2:31 a.m., at which point it enters Libra, and the Libra moon will trine Pluto. This is a very productive day. Keep in mind, we have a waxing crescent moon, and waxing crescent is helpful for things that we want to grow, things that we want to put out there. I would just exercise a little bit of caution with Mercury retrograde. Make sure that you are rereading, double checking. Typically projects from the past are better than anything brand new. But I will say with waxing crescent, it's an optimal time around things within our life that we want to grow or move towards. And with the energy of the moon in Libra, love and connection can be on the brain. We could be really wanting to spend time with people that we love. I mean, this combination, Leo sun, Leo governs the heart space, Libra moon, this is about connection and relating. Allow yourself to invest within the connections that do light you up, that do make you feel seen, where there is that balance around self and other, and feeling how powerful that can be. We've talked a lot about energy vampires and people who drain you, but the energy of Thursday is pay attention to people who rejuvenate your energy stores, right? Like you were spending time with Maggie and a lot of times your social battery would be depleted by the end of sushi, but you still felt lit up. You still felt in the mood to continue having fun. This too is data to honor, and just observing the sparkle that people leave you with, right? Who just make you feel more radiated, more charged up, and maybe even more excited by life and by its possibilities. And the people who, even if you come to them and you're in a bad mood, like that energy is able to transform, it's able to regenerate itself. And so Thursday just feels like a really lovely day to celebrate those connections. On Friday, August 9th, the moon continues on in Libra all day long, making harmonious trine aspects to both Mars and Jupiter in the morning time, which is giving you a can-do, enthusiastic start to your day. You could find you're extra persuasive, okay? With the Libra moon, trine Gemini placements, if there's one thing about Gemini and Libra placements is that they've got charm to boot. And so that could be something that you are leveraging as an asset in the morning time. Could be great for my sales loves, those who work on commission, something of that nature. You could also find there's just this energy around feeling more motivated, feeling more excited to step into your day, especially with the Libra moon then going on to sextile the Leo sun around 2:45 p.m. What this energy is honestly giving me, because yes, it's courageous, it's optimistic, we're in the mood to grow things and connect and negotiate, persuade, and all of the things. But when I look at this day's astrology altogether, it kind of feels like how motivated you are when you have like a work crush. Or something of that nature. Because let's just say it, Libra energy loves to flirt, okay? And with the energy of trine Mars and Jupiter, we could be feeling more motivated by our love life in some way, or by our crushes, or again, by the people who make our heart pitter-patter with the sextile to Leo sun, or at least just enjoying the attention that we get from them. Again, not every crush needs to be so serious. There could just be an energy around it makes work feel more fun because you put a little extra time getting ready because you know you're going to see them, or you're a little bit more motivated to kill it in your sales calls because you know that they're going to see and be impressed. Like, these are the little things that make life worth living and make it a little bit more fun. So that's kind of an energy for Friday. Or for some of you, you could just be feeling more optimistic about your love life, potentially more in the mood to flirt, more in the mood to connect, more motivated to want to carve and invest more time there. Again, like I said about the Virgo energy, we want to avoid messes. So this is not me advocating that anybody needs to start a workplace romance because that feels a little messy, but there just feels to be a little bit of charm or banter that's making our day-to-day a little bit more enjoyable. So on Saturday, August 10th, the Libra moon will oppose Chiron around 2 a.m. And for some of you, there can be some wounds that are coming up as it relates to one-to-one connections within your world. Again, Friday, there could have been an energy around feeling more open and more excited. Maybe some of you are like, okay, I'm going to download a dating app, or I'm going to say yes to this person who's been asking me for a while. I'm feeling optimistic. But with the Libra moon opposing Chiron, there could be wounds that surface as you do open yourself up to connection. There could be wounds from the past that maybe you're reflecting on. Keep in mind, with Mercury retrograde, a lot of us are thinking about things from the past. And there could be energies where it's like when you contemplate going back to the dating world, there's an energy around, ooh, what if they do this? Like, what if they say this to me like my ex did? Or, ooh, what if they also think I'm to this, just like this past situation? And that's why it is helpful to complete the incomplete. And I'm not just talking about to-dos. I'm also talking about just energetic cords that we have out there, right? Doors that we kind of have open, like just in case they return, or candles that we kind of hold out just in case it works out. Like, sometimes it could be helpful to really complete the incomplete for us to really have the space to welcome in a connection that feels new and isn't just a repeat of those same old patterns. And again, sometimes it's around internalizing the lessons there. Sometimes it's around creating closure. And I went on a rant about this last week. Listen, this Mercury retrograde may have some of us wanting closure. And my advice would be try to find that within yourself before you try to find it from somebody else, because a lot of times it does keep us stagnant. It can make us go round and round, because a lot of times we can never fully get the answers that we crave or that we wanted to hear, or that would allow us to be fully at peace. Sometimes just even the knowledge around it didn't work out, this person did what they did, is the data that you need to have closure around that door is closed. Like, sometimes when we go back into the past to try to figure out, or try to ask them, why did you do this to me? Or why didn't this work out? Sometimes it just energetically keeps us in that loop, because the answer that they give, it doesn't feel sufficient. Well, then why didn't this, or why didn't this? Sometimes just saying it is what it is the closure that we need. And again, that can be painful. And maybe for some of you, that's the Libra moon opposite Chiron energy. Allow yourself to feel that and grieve that and feel the pain points that could have come to the surface within past connections. But just know that your future needs you. And only if this vibration is accessible to you, reach for, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Like, the Leo sun, sextile Jupiter and Gemini is kind of the energy this week around, it's not that deep, right? Like, my life's purpose was not wrapped up in the hands of this average person who was incapable of putting their towels on the hook. Right? Like there's an energy, if possible, if you can reach for it, if it's accessible, depending on where you are in the healing journey, reach for, it's not that deep. Life goes on, right? Like I can reminisce on the past without getting stuck there. Because a lot of times when we're so stuck in the past, either we're looking for those same metrics, those same patterns, because mentally we're still there, thus repeating the same results. And we're literally not seeing the opportunities or the possibilities. Like we take in so much stimuli and so much data every single day, and our eye particularly points out what feels pertinent to us. So if we are mentally still in the past with the ex relationship that we can't figure out why it didn't work out, or a past friendship where it's like, why did they do me like that? So our mind will search out for data or stimuli that aligns with where it is that we are mentally, either in our mind's effort to finally tie up that loose end, right, energetically, or to learn that lesson. We literally will not see or not pick up on people who are conducive for growth, who are healthier dynamics altogether. Our mind will literally zero into what we are familiar with, or at least where it is that we are mentally affixed to. And so we will literally not see people who could be a very healthy match, who could be a much different dynamic. We will hone in on dynamics that feel familiar to us, because that's where we're mentally stuck. And it's our mind's effort to try to find closure or find a loose end from something that was painful, or trying to repeat the same dynamic and have a different result because we can feel like we've won. This is the beauty of cleaning up our energetic debris, is being able to open ourselves up to new possibilities, to new opportunities that are novel, that don't aggravate the familiar old pain points, that don't keep us in these same loops. And so with the energy of Libra moon opposite Chiron, there just could be dynamics within your connection or around connections that are bringing up like an ouch. And it's not to say that you're living in the past. It's just this energy around what within me is feeling triggered here, and how can I learn from it to energetically clean up that debris. And so on Saturday, the moon is void for most of the day in Libra. It's a great time to connect, to harmonize. Again, some of us could be feeling lonely with the energy of Libra moon opposite Chiron. Be mindful not to get caught up and scrolling on your Instagram feed and being like, oh my gosh, is everybody married? Is everybody having babies? Is it too late for me? Or even just like walking to the cafe and just feeling like everybody's bayed up and being like, what about me? Where's my bae? Like sometimes moon opposite Chiron can kind of bring up some of those wounds as well. At 3:34, the moon will enter Scorpio, which is the position of the moon's fall. It does not particularly like to be here, and it's taking us deep into intensity. It's intense highs and intense lows, accentuated with the Scorpio moon square to Pluto in Aquarius, which happens around 4:27 p.m., which might have you feeling a little bit on edge or uneasy. Scorpio moon ultimately wants control, and with the square to Pluto in Aquarius, you could be feeling like things are out of control, which could be making you feel more nervous. And how it is that you could be attempting to feel more in control is by the details of your life. And we see this with the Scorpio moon sextile Mercury in Virgo, which lands at 8:42 p.m. This can show up in constructive ways or destructive ways. Constructive ways where it's like, okay, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling nervous, so let me do this puzzle, because I know that if I work towards this puzzle, I can solve this puzzle. And when it comes to other arenas of life, we can't necessarily always solve the issues right then and there. So this gives me an element of control that I feel like I can handle, or this particular household task, or even just like journaling or processing what is making you feel out of control or out of sorts with the sextile to Mercury in Virgo. Where this could potentially show up in destructive ways is when we are feeling out of control, so then we seek to micromanage or control others. Around we feel out of control within our own life, and it's easier to tell our partner, you're so sloppy, your towel's on the ground again, rather than deal with the big scary emotions that we're feeling, because we're just attempting to find control over something. So just being mindful of the energy and seeking to leverage it in more constructive ways. On Sunday, August 11th, the only aspect that we have all day is that the Scorpio moon will sextile Venus in Virgo at 7:40 a.m. And this alignment is quite funny because both of these planets are not so comfy right now. But they're kind of like waving at each other. They're kind of like working together. They're kind of like smirking at one another. Like it's giving the energy around like two besties in detention, right? Like They're not pleased to be in detention, but they're pleased that they're there together. Like, that's kind of the vibe of the moon in Scorpio, sextile Venus and Virgo. Not that either of these signs are detention, but just think places you don't necessarily thrive in. So what does this mean for you? Firstly, it can be really helpful to tackle the scary places within your home that you've been avoiding. Like, if there's any like scary closets, like I don't want to open that and clean it out because then I need to face what's in there and clean out the clutter. Sunday is the day to do that. Because the Scorpio moon, yes, it's feeling things intensely, but one thing Scorpio energy is that it's not afraid. So it's an energy around, okay, it's time. It's time for me to handle the crevices and clean out the clutter, right? And Venus and Virgo is there to support. And handling these projects might be helpful to give us peace of mind because you might be feeling nervous. You know, we have the first quarter moon building early Monday morning, which of course we'll talk about within next week's forecast. Same time, same place. See you there. And so it might be helpful to have a project to keep yourself busy, or at least do something to give yourself a semblance of control. Again, when life feels out of control with the big things, allow yourself to find some semblance of control with the little things around. I cannot control whether or not this job picks me, but I can control whether or not I get up today and get a good workout in. I cannot control where my relationship is going, but I can control how it is that I clean up this closet. Like, again, control ultimately in life is an illusion, but sometimes it helps to just find a sense of mastery or anchoring within the small tasks in order to feel more peace of mind when it comes to the bigger tasks within our world as well. You can also find there's an energy around potentially being a little bit more snarky or a little bit more judgmental. This energy is just like, two besties in detention, just like making little snide comments to one another, which can just make the most of it, right? Things in life are going to go wrong. You're going to be in detention every so often. There's going to be delays. There's going to be technical difficulties. And there's just an energy with these two planets in uncomfortable territory, but sextiling one another around how we cope by joking or by letting out a snide comment or two or making a side eye every so often. So my loves, that is our week. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I clean up my past to make room for my future. With Mercury retrograde, this is an ask to cross our T's and dot our I's around anything that feels to be a loose end, anything that we have been meaning to get to, anything that we feel is still a question mark. There's an energy around wanting to clean up the past, make peace with the past, not to get stuck there, but just to ensure that as we move into our future, we're not still mentally stuck into prior loops that we've been in. And the ask around clearing space for the future is Sun sextile Jupiter. Jupiter is around expansiveness and growth and wide open spaces. And sometimes we need space in order to evolve and grow. There's no more space in your Safari window to keep opening more tabs, right? You will exhaust your device trying to hold space for all of the things. So sometimes when you intentionally close out the tabs, it allows you even the space to envision, what else do I want to invite within my world? What possibilities do I want to invite in? What opportunities have I been missing because I've been so mentally stuck within the past? That is the ask when it comes to this week's astrology. So my loves, if you made it to the end of the video, go ahead and comment the broom emoji or use the word broom within a sentence to let me know that you made it to the end. Just a shout out to getting our acts together, right? With Mercury retrograde in Virgo, cleaning up the messes, whether it's physical messes, emotional messes, spiritual messes. Listen, Mercury's discerning eye is asking us to clean it up. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would so love to connect with you over there. A reminder that you can get up to 30% off the high quality, affordable jewelry of Ana Luisa using my link. I have it within the drop down as well as within the pinned comment. Thank you so much, Ana Luisa, for partnering with me on this week's Magic Monday and making sure that I am sparkling all Leo season. My loves, I'll see you next week, and until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay positive.